So now that I've charged you with this idea that you need to build an experience and use all the controls, I guess I'm kind of obligated to go in and show you some of them. So here, let's create ourselves an app real quick. So we'll do apps, and we'll say create an app. And I promise this one will not have 8 screens like the last time that I said, let's just make an app real quick to do some of this. And so after a few seconds, our screen will load here, and we're going to choose the tablet layout. And so after a few more seconds, we are greeted with our blank canvas. Woohoo, blank canvas. So let's go over here to insert. And so we'll talk about some of these. We'll show some of these. We'll talk about how to get data out of them. So label and button, I feel like we've covered pretty well. If you're not comfortable with those yet, we probably should get you a start back over at the beginning of the videos. So let's go into text. And so text, right, so there's a repeated label. It's so important. It gets to be in there twice. Text input, as we've shown before, that's where we go in, we type in some text. Use that one quite a bit. HTML text, if you want to let users input actual HTML and then display that later, so all the angly brackets and all the fun format HTML, you can do that. There's also now a rich text editor experimental, and so hopefully by the time you get a hold of this, it will no longer be experimental. But that is going to be a rich text input box that has a little bit more controls, lets users do some more formatting and those type of things. And then the last one there is the pin input. Let's take a look at that because that's another great example of building an experience. So the pin input, and so right now I'm using a mouse, but it's meant to take advantage of, right? You want to let people sign with their fingers, right? Or sign with a pen on their mobile device, their Surface Pen, right? This little guy right here, woohoo. What we can do is grab it and we can do this. So I'm using the mouse, so that's why my handwriting looks really bad. But you get the idea. We can do some pen inputting. I can get an eraser, I can clear it out, I can set the sizes, I can set the colors. So this is another one of those controls that lets you build a better, different solution that you just have to kind of think through. Because now it's going to take that pen input, it's going to capture it as an image, and so then what do you want to do with it, right? But creating consent forms where they can actually physically scribble on the screen. That's an option available to you. All right, we'll delete that off my screen. No, we won't. So with this on the screen, what I want to show you is, we'll hit play. We'll go in here. Swoop, there we go. Put some of that in there. So, and just to show you how to get that out of there, right? So if we go media, we'll jump ahead, we'll add an image control. And so then there's the image control. And so what image do we want to use? We're going to use pin input 1 dot image. And so then there you can see whatever I type or whatever I paint over here is getting reflected in my image control. So pretty cool little functionality. All right, let's get these guys off the screen. Instead of making a bunch of screens, we'll just delete stuff as we go. So that's the different text input categories, different options you have available.